Nia Jax challenges Brie Larson to a match.
Who?
WWE, some WWE chick.
Dennis, you know, you can bring that up so I can kiss my teeth on air, dog.
I don't watch wrestling no more. So
no, so you can bring that up so I can be like this. Just so I can do that part.
Florida be the only place where it's freezing hot. Yo, we gotta talk about these Floridian weather conditions because I can't take this. It's a surprise every day that you wake up.
Basically, you've been visiting Florida for the last month now, right? And the weather conditions since you've been here last month,
it's a different weather condition every month.
Yeah, so
basketball shorts one day, you bust out the jacket the day after.
Yep. Then the raincoat.
Yo, for real, dog. Like, it don't make no sense, bro. Like, every time somebody's like, "Oh yeah, it's snowing here. I hate it." I'm like, all right, so we should get that cold front in 2 days because it always comes down.
So episode 40.
Boom. Let's go.
Yeah.
Who's starting out this week?
So, did Brie Larson say Captain Marvel wasn't made for white men?
That's another. Yeah, that's what that died.
Yeah, we're gonna. So that is every time I hear one of them foolishness.
And it's Women's History Month too.
But that's why I was thinking. Remember, Black Panther came out during.
Yeah.
I
think they tried to pull that.
Captain Marvel is Women's History.
Yeah, Women Month, Women Appreciation
Month.
So we give a shout out for that as well.
No, it's Women's History Month, I think.
It's their History Month. But it's Women Appreciation Day.
Okay.
Was that day?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. So basically, what she said is, I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know that it meant to women of color, biracial women to teen women of color.
What
yeah,
did it have to do with women of color?
I think she was in it.
Who?
No, that was that Oprah movie.
Yeah, but
the other kid.
The kid wasn't black in culture either. Like, it was a little mixed white girl.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's still part black.
Yeah, but it's not like she was like.
It wasn't like it was the
Star
Trek.
Yeah,
that played Captain Kirk, and it was some other lady, and then Oprah was in there.
Yeah,
like the thing is I see where she's coming from with it, because you have people that did complain about the movie, and usually when it comes to stuff like that, and ethnic people taking roles, if you're not completely white, you're not white, you're something else. So like, as far as the complaints, that's how it goes.
But I'm gonna say this: if you seen a Ring
good, I wouldn't say.
I'll probably watch it today.
Was a black.
So wait, has anyone of you guys seen a Ring? I've seen it. Okay, so I'm gonna say this.
Was it good to watch?
Like, why are we recording this?
It is recording. I've been recording. Welcome to One Pop Podcast,
episode 40. This is your boy CN,
Trev,
this is Donville.
Yo,
we were going this way.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
We're there, guys.
We here.
I'm gonna tell
episode 40.
As of this week, we have, I can say, speculations, and so much has been up in the air based on everything that was talked about. I think I want to start with what's going on in the movie industry. You know what I mean? Foremost, especially because I watch. Is it Captain Marvel? Trevor, I want to make sure I say it right.
Mm-hmm. Captain Marvel.
I say Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel is
the superhero.
No, she's a superhero too, but she is.
Miss Marvel is
She's a big fan of Captain Marvel. That's why she called herself Miss Marvel.
Oh, dang!
Okay, so all right. So basically, let me ask a question, Trev. How did Rogue get her power?
Rogue?
Yeah, and I know I'm straying way off.
All right, Rogue got her power from classic Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Now
the guy or the girl?
The girl.
Okay.
So basically what happened is Rogue's initial power was just to absorb things.
Yes.
And push comes to shove, Rogue wasn't always on the side of good.
Yes.
So, one day her and Carol happened to run into each other and they started fading out.
So wait, hold on. Rewind. Mm-hmm. So Rogue was a part of Marvel Universe or something?
Yeah, I mean X-Men.
Rogue, X-Men Rogue.
I didn't know that.
Like, you know how like the classic X-Men cartoon, she can fly and all that other type of stuff. She got her powers from Captain Marvel.
Oh wow!
See, I know that.
I didn't know that.
I wanted to
yeah, like basically how it went about is like push comes to shove. They fought the first time, and with Rogue, the more she touches you, the more she takes from you.
Yeah,
and she saw that she was she was getting stronger every time she snatched her up.
Yep.
So Carol got left in a weakened state. dipped off or whatever, and Rogue was like, nah, I need the rest of that.
Yeah.
Because like if
Give me all that.
she doesn't take everything, it's only temporary.
Okay.
So she took enough of it to put Carol in a weakened state, and then she went after her again and killed her.
Yeah.
Took the rest of it.
Dang.
So like it's pretty crazy.
It's that one, and also heard a different one where she starts remembering
Yeah.
people's powers,
Yes.
and that's how dangerous she is. Right?
She's the strongest mutant.
Yeah.
Period. She's the
Well,
strongest. mutant.
because she can take your power.
No,
take it
no,
and reuse it
no.
against
Like
you.
because what he is saying is that she thought it was always temporary, but when she touches you and she takes your power, even if she borrowed it for like 3-4 seconds,
Yes.
it's embedded in her DNA.
Okay,
So
just
she
has to
can pull it
remember
up
how to
at
use
will.
it.
Yeah,
and
she
I
just
think it
gotta figure out how to
was
do
it Professor X that put that limiter in her head,
Could be.
like either way, like she couldn't figure out how she was doing it, and then she found out that she could. Now, the most dangerous person is somebody that can activate all their powers at once. So could you imagine her flying around with Captain Marvel's powers,
Insane.
Logan's healing factor, Jean's psychic ability, and freaking Scott's eyes? So like it's
Well, I mean, I'm happy you said that because Jean has always been one of my favorite X-Men's, and I always thought her power level, her power scale was way beyond. And I mean, I always know Rogue had some power, some very strong power of hers based on how she can capture his people's ability.
Rogue is a beast.
Yeah, I know Rogue is a beast because she's kind of tied to my favorite X-Men, which is Gambit, which is some foolishness in a whole other sense. But in that state, I'm happy that you said that because if she touches Jean and she can replicate Jean's ability based on her memory, to me that does make it strong because Jean is to me like a class 5 or a class 5.
She's an Omega
The
class.
top
Yeah.
class. Yeah.
She's Omega, especially.
Actually, is she? No, she's tier 4. With the Phoenix Force, she's tier 5.
Yeah, because I know like she's above Magneto and all of them.
Magneto is he's a tier 4. They're on the same level, but when she gets that Phoenix Force, like she's not on that list anymore. I think you have Bobby Drake. He's a class 5, but he never used his powers to that extent.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Frost took his body one time, and she was like, "I'm gonna show you the full extent of your actual powers," and she can dip the entire planet into Sub-Zero instantly with Bobby's powers. Bobby doesn't know how to use his powers like that. I think Gambit is a tier 3. And I think he went up to a tier 4. Magneto's a tier 4. Professor X is a tier 5. Sinister is a tier 5. Apocalypse is a tier 5. Jean is a tier 5 now.
Yeah.
Rogue is a tier 5 now. Like Logan's a tier 3, surprisingly, because the only thing that actually makes him beneficial is his adamantium.
Yeah, and then he can regenerate himself.
But that's his actual power. His adamantium skeleton is the only reason why he's relevant, because if he didn't have that skeleton, they would have probably killed him already. So it's crazy. Like there's a rumor saying that they might be working on the X-Men versus Avengers movie, which if they do, that'd be the best way to introduce them into the universe.
Well, in a sense, to show that while Adventures is going on, there is actually mutants running around in the same time lapse. Based on me saying that's not what I know.
Would they still be calling them miracles though?
Until that contract is signed, yeah.
Okay. Well, they would have to introduce that racial tension. So,
God, they're gonna bring that up again.
if they do that and they do it exactly the same way as the '90s cartoon, perfect. Like you have to make it like civil rights era level type racism against mutants, dog. Not because that's how it was. They were persecuted.
Yeah.
They were getting killed on sight. Like kids were getting jumped at school if they found out they had powers. Like people were getting shot, stuff like that. And
the funny thing about when they say it like that, you kind of use the word civil rights because it shows that the people who had power was just really not using it in a sense. Because if the mutant would have stand strong,
Yeah, message.
you know what I'm saying? If the people would have stand strong, they wouldn't have not been able to touch the mutants. You're talking about you have 4 people jumping are way more from jumping one person who has some sort of superpowers. If that person would activate their power right then and there, it's a wrap. And
yeah, but then who would be seen as the criminal?
Well, it's not about criminal activity in that moment. It's to show that that you have power, and it's you have power within inside of you that will make people stay away. In the fact that what was wrong in that moment is that it was one mutant against a couple of people. If you know what I'm saying, if you had two mutants standing there, nobody. Matter of fact, if you had two of them standing there exhorting some form of power, nobody would have touched them.
Nah, but if what was good about the X-Men cartoon is like it kind of dawned on how like a lot of society worked too. Because even if you were to be outlandish with that power, use it to defend yourself and stuff like that, you'd be seen as a threat. You wouldn't be seen as somebody standing their ground. You'd be seen as a threat.
And I think that happened in one of the episodes on the cartoon where like they were getting beat up and then like something crazy happened with the powers and the kids was like, oh my gosh, and ran off.
Yeah. But then you know what happens? Law enforcement, military gets involved. They're like, oh, there's a mutant just, wreaking havoc down the street. Yeah. We got to kill him. They're not going to say, oh, we want to talk. They're going to be like, nah, just
Well, I mean, Dennis, and I'm happy. Kill him. I'm happy you said it because if you look when, I think was it one of the X-Men movies when Magneto decided that, he was going to go gather a group of mutants and then start a little mini war. Really, people couldn't fight him. The only people who technically could have fight him was other mutants.
It was like at first he wanted smoke. He wanted smoke because of what happened to his parents, because of what society has been doing to the mutants and stuff like that. Like for pretty much, like I said, you can tie it into modern day stuff. Yeah, and eventually he got to the point. Yeah, he's Malcolm X. Eventually he got to the point where he was like, you know what? Me and Charles been beefing for so long, but we really got nothing to fight about. And then he made his sanctuary for the mutants. And he's like, this is where we're going to be at. I'm going to let y'all know we over here. If y'all cross this line right here, it's a wrap. I'm pulling up. And that was pretty much how it was. And people still went after them anyway, even when they had their own sanctum, because they just couldn't live with the fact that those type of people existed. Yeah. So like it's crazy because if you look at like the Fantastic Four and stuff like that, they're considered to be alters. So because their powers
segregation did kind of work.
With what?
Because
with the mutants. Yeah.
With the mutants, I'm happy.
What Magneto did wasn't really segregation.
What would you call it?
I'd say it's alienating.
Segregation is alienating.
So what? Segregation, as far as that, is dividing two classes in between like two things. They weren't living in the same area. He created a sanctum for his people in a separate island in the middle of nowhere. He literally raised that island out of the ocean. And he made that so they'd be far enough away from society to where they wouldn't bother them. That's completely different.
So it's more isolation.
It is isolation, but it is kind of segregation in some way.
But still separation.
You're protecting your people.
Well, I mean, that is, yes.
It's like how you have the Sentinelese, like how they got their way of life preserved because they don't want to interact with anybody on the outside. It's not segregation.
Or even like how the Native Americans have their reserves.
Reservation. So Dennis, let me ask you a question. Would you think, based on what you learned from the X-Men, if the black community was kind of thinking the same way Magneto was thinking when he tried to uproot himself and put all his black people on an island and move on? Do you think that would work right now?
So basically, make Wakanda.
Yeah,
like in this day and age.
Yeah,
because if it would be possible, I don't.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I mean, and I'm not saying I'm proposing a division. But I feel like based on the knowledge that we've all acquired in engineerings, because that would be a very engineering move to have somebody help to design and build and get an architect to build a facility that does that. Yeah. I think based on some of the reasons,
based on how you go about it, from what it sounds like, if you took the Magneto approach, you're basically talking about creating an entire separate country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which causes problems.
Why would you say cause problem?
Because like let's say what was it? You had the episode of Family Guy, perfect, where Peter's housing development wasn't on the grid at all. It wasn't even a part of the United States. So he turned it into Pretoria and made his own country and stuff like that. Yeah. And like he was sitting there acting reckless or whatever. And what did the US do? They went over and they pulled up with the military and they're like, yo, either you become part of the United States or you're gone.
Well, no,
like that type of thing. You would have to have a military might strong enough for people not to just pull up, and run over you,
So are
which would involve you having to do weapons dealings, which would involve you having to do this, that, and the third. Like you would have to set yourself up for success.
I'm happy you're saying that. So, and this is the reason why I started with the word with engineers and architectures, because these are the people who help create and design military projects as well. Weapons is not being made unless an engineer is technically working on it or coming up with a design. Now, what I'm basically saying is that yes, if you're going to uproot and build your own country, you're gonna put some of those things in defense. That's called the defense mechanism for your country, which is you think about protecting. You're talking about Petopia when Peter created this and the American government comes over. But if you have a country where no other country is going to come over and tell you that we're going to conquer you, because that's what you said when you said Peter got invaded, because that's telling what happened, which is to stop an invasion. You wouldn't have to worry about that.
See, but here's the difference when it comes to that, though. You have these other countries in our society that are established through history as powerhouses. Like you have Spain, you have Europe, you have the U.S. Who else?
China, Russia.
Yeah, China, Russia, all that type of stuff. Like they all have established countries.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is building a new country in the middle of a modern era where somebody can press a button and wipe you off the map.
Well, I don't, I think I'm still sticking with the word engineer.
Yeah, because I understand the whole engineering concept of like building weapons and stuff like that, but that goes through testing, that goes through phases of trial and development and everything like that. Like the railgun, for example, the railgun's first concept came up in the 90s.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to perfect it to this day. Like it's been in development for over 20 years. It's one of the strongest military weapons we have.
So basically, you're saying that if a country was created within that moment, there's already pre-existing design of weapons that can be used and be made.
But you still have to make them, and you need those resources as well, which involves trading,
import,
and at the same time, those countries have to be willing to help you. Now you could have those. They could either be like, "Hey, we'll help you out. We'll help you build a missile silo or something like that." Yeah, but this plot of land looks nice.
No, I'm happy that we're saying this because. I mean, if this conversation would have came up about 100 years ago, I would say yes. I understand completely.
I'm pretty sure it did.
No, I mean sure, but I'm saying it's a whole nother conversation. But I think for the resources that we have in this time and era, I think it's a whole nother conversation.
No, I think it's actually worse because we're in such a global economy, global climate where we're all interconnected.
Okay.
So what happens is a new country pops up or whatever, let's say a new ruler within a country pops up, right? Yeah. There's a conversation that happens between United Nations and that country.
Yes.
Hey, what are you all about? What's your plans? Are you going to join us or are you going to be on this side?
Well, I mean, yes, and I'm happy.
The same thing that's happened in Venezuela.
Yeah, and then
they're having a conversation like, oh, you think you're the president? Hold on, let's talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation that's going to have to happen with this country, hypothetically.
No, and I'm happy to say hypothetically, and I'm happy to say in the United Nations because as long as you're willing to be a part of peace, from what I come to understand, which is peace within nations, United Nation is very acceptable of any country who's willing to share peace.
But it's
what's
not
peace?
That simple. The United Nations is a room of people.
Yes.
From different countries. That doesn't mean they all get along. Because you could have all of them sitting in the room and you're like, yeah, I'm a new country. We're here for peace, all that other type of stuff. And you have that one dude in the back. He's like, yo, where are you located at? It's like, oh, we're actually about 200 miles east of your country. All right, bet. Next thing you know, that day they declare war on you.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do about it? If you don't have a military force strong enough to match them, they'll just pull up and they'll take everything that you have.
You keep saying the word military force, and I made sure the first thing you brought up military force, I interject with how you would counteract a military force. Everything is not military dominance. You're talking about military dominance when majority of the military force that fought for America in most of their wars were, what I'm going to say was minority, right? Indian people and black people. I mean, the United States government actually sent out more black people in the military than everything else.
You're talking about body count. I'm talking about weapons.
Yeah, so
now, here's the thing, though. Take Israel, for example.
Good.
You think without help Israel would be able to fend off the entire Middle East by itself.
No, and I'm happy you brought up Israel.
No
When
way.
Israel is not that big of what you think it is. Israel is actually surrounded by enemies. So yes,
Yeah.
yes, Dennis, yes, in that sense. Well, that's the reason why we talked about the Magneto effect. Magneto basically, you said he uproots his country, his utopia for his mutant, and he moved them away, like in the middle of the ocean.
But Magneto has superpowers.
No, wait, Downville. Downville.
You can't fire a missile at him unless it's
Yeah.
made of plastic, and
No,
that's
I understand.
impossible.
And then you got a team of superheroes.
What is the point I'm trying to get at? Is that with the knowledge and the technology that's have now?
Yeah.
I don't think military power are basically a nuke, because if depends on your country, depends on what treaty you sign with the UN. Your country is who is actually making nuclear missiles. So it's not just as easy as you're going to just bomb my country.
Yeah, but
I mean,
the
look-
process. Okay, the process of making a nuclear missile is really expensive,
It is expensive.
and it takes years just to get. It does take years just to get to that point where you have a nuclear payload to launch at somebody.
That's why
Yes.
Korea
We
doesn't
see
have
that
it
with
yet.
North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
They have the money, but they're working on the technology to get it there.
no,
and the
They-
problem,
it's taking them forever.
is
Now,
you
they
can't.
be
You
firing
that's North
things,
Korea.
bro. They be
Here's
firing
the
things.
problem. They got
How many things failed?
They failed. They failed at distance.
But here's
Fire into the ocean.
here's the other issue
Go
as
ahead.
well. They have allies, and at the same
Yeah, they
time,
do have allies
One
still.
of our allies is South Korea. So, like, as far as that's
Yeah.
concerned, you can't hit them with the full force of anything, because you risk of that actually transitioning over to the other country.
There's actually a landmine that divides that country. So firing any form of missile close to both countries will actually destroy it. The landmines was actually placed there by the United States of America as basically a border that's saying that if anybody who tries to walk through here, you can blow yourself to smithereens. So that's one of the main reasons why America doesn't attack Korea. But that's just one concept of that.
But here's the thing, though. Back to the whole Israel concept.
Yes.
If the Israel was not getting backed by the U.S.
Yeah.
and they decided to, out of nowhere, let's just say they decided to become their own country.
They are their own country.
I'm just using it as an example. Like out of nowhere, they're like, hey, we're Israel, we're a new country, stuff like that. And they're surrounded by all those people.
Yeah.
How long do you think they would have to actually create these weapons that you were talking about?
Well, I mean, Dennis, so based on what you're saying right there, they did buy the weapons. That was what the treaty is, because Israel was actually given
But
the status
I'm
of
speaking
country in
about it
1950.
as if they just came up with
No.
their own country.
No,
So
they
different
did.
name.
No.
Yeah, like, okay.
Dennis,
Yeah, like a
no,
different
but,
day.
No, but Dennis is right, because Israel is not a country that's been around for a long time. Israel became a country again, in the sense that it became a country in 1950. So we're talking about a little bit more than 70 years ago. That's not really not a long time for any country to be considered a country. So in that status of them being at war, they bought weapons.
Yeah, but they had support.
Yeah,
Like if
they were
you sit
giving
there and
aid.
you
No,
make,
they
you
were
make
giving aid,
let's
but
say you
what
sit
I'm
there
saying
and you
is
make
that-
this country out of nowhere. You have to have somebody that's one of at least the 5 great nations that's
Yes, but
willing to help you.
but
Because if not, somebody's gonna run
So
through
Dennis,
you.
I based on my theory and thought, I feel like if every black people, I'm just saying, this is hypothetically, if all black people, we all left whatever
Black
society,
Americans.
Yeah, say black. Yes, there's a lot of black people in
Because
the
it's
world.
like, why would I leave
Trev,
Nigeria?
No, Trev.
There's black people in Ghana like, why are you including me?
I want to say it like this.
Yeah.
We're going to say, and I want to say Africa as well, too, because Africa still has racism going on there. Let's say we take every black people from every country in the world, hypothetically, right?
Okay.
And then we all form one country, right then and there. So there will be no mixture. So what we
Let's say continent.
a continent, right,
Yeah,
Trev?
yeah.
So what we contribute to our regular society, they don't have. And I'm saying, based on the technology and where black people has come from as a people, I feel like if we would have created our own continent where it's just our people in that continent, we will be strong. I don't think a
but
super
Here's the
But-
thing. Hold on. Let me say something. Okay. First of all, one thing we skipped over.
Yes.
How would we, as black people, get that land mass? Because we would have to invade someone else and start a
get it.
war to even get the land.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
That's one thing. Okay, just remember, just think on that. That's one thing. Another thing is that with Africa being such a diverse continent
Yes.
with many different countries, many different religions,
Yes.
that's not gonna work.
Okay, I understand. What you're saying.
When the colonists, whatever you want to call them, the white people invaded Africa. They didn't invade Africa as one African people. Like there was so many different kingdoms, so many different nations within South Africa, in West Africa, all over.
Yeah.
So many different things were going on at that time.
And they all
so
contribute to it,
we
too.
can't really say just like black people in Africa is just too basic. What we can say is maybe the diaspora, people that were taken away from Africa during the slave trade. We share a commonality. Most of us do come from West Africa.
Yeah.
In that area of Africa. Maybe that will work, but to say all black people, that's
I know
it's way too much.
No,
At
know
the
it's
same
ludicrous,
time-
but I was just the reason why that thought came to me because I thought about what Magneto did, and
Yeah.
he tried to create a sanctuary, right? I feel like if
he did because he had the means to do it. The problem is like the idea's there. You could
so
probably
you
get
don't
the
think black people
people
have the
there.
means to do it?
Not like Magneto.
No,
Magneto
You-
was able to create land with
Like-
mutant powers.
Yes,
Like, here's the thing,
see,
like-
like what Donville was saying, like you still have to purchase that mask. You have to get that mask somehow. He pulled it out of an ocean.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
then
He made it himself.
Well,
Actually, it was either an ocean or it was a meteor. He made it himself.
No, I mean, and then it's his right.
now
And I'm not saying it's
with
impossible.
land already being established, you would have to get it from somebody.
No,
No.
and the planet could give it to you, Dennis. I'm just saying.
The planet could, but depending on where it is in whose region, they'll probably want it for themselves
They're
too.
gonna-
And here's the thing, guys. So this concept is not new. Marcus Garvey was the leader of the Pan African music, like
Yeah.
the movement, the Back to Africa movement.
Yes.
Where he wanted African Americans, Jamaicans, people in the Caribbean, diaspora, to go back to Africa and be planted there, be rooted there. And the country of Ghana has opened their doors. I think their doors are still open.
Yes.
As far as being, if you're a black person, being able to go back to Ghana
And start over.
and have some type of status as far as citizenship and really start over. And families have done that. I mean, the problem is like you are sacrificing. You're sacrificing coming from a first world country to
third world country,
not
or
even-
fourth world.
not even third world.
like-
Ghana's really not that bad. I mean, I would say second and
not-
third.
U.S.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's
But
not the
sure,
U.S.
This is my point. I understand that what you guys are talking about trading, right? These are things that everything makes a country successful. I just don't see why if in general we would have done that, why can't it be successful? I feel like the same knowledge that all this first class nation has,
Yeah.
that knowledge of is it now I'm gonna look at it. Wait, give me 1 second, Dennis. So now I'm gonna look at you and say you're a very smart person, right? Say you're not the black Albert Einstein. There's the white Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
I feel like we having the black Albert Einstein in our country based on the knowledge that he's known from working with the other white Albert Einstein. We have the same knowledge, the same ability.
Yeah.
I feel like we can. It's something that can be created. Yes, and Dennis is right. In the beginning phase, because I play a game called Civilization, so I understand the benefit of a beginning civilization trying to get invaded.
Yeah.
And yes, you have to make the right allies. Right, I understand that. But what I'm basically saying that if we do this and we decide as a people, as a nation, that we want to start our own continent and make this happen, I feel like it's possible, and I do feel like we'll have support because if you look at the Asians, an example,
Yeah.
Asians stay to themselves.
Yeah.
They're Asians. You feel me? That's their continent. Over generations, they've built enough power where nobody's really gonna mess with the Asians. You know, they're doing their thing. Even when America went in there and bombed them, after they bombed over there and came back, they basically gave them back their amnesty because they're like, yo, these people are smart. Like, we're better off just let them know, like, yo,
You
look.
talking about Vietnam?
Yes, the
Nah,
Vietnam.
the U.S. got their asses kicked.
No, not
Yeah.
the Vietnam. I'm talking about the Hiroshima bombing. That's when they
Japan.
The atomic bomb.
The atomic bomb, when they dropped that. Because even after they dropped that, and they
But
supposedly disintegrated.
Dennis is 100% right. There's no foot soldiers that were able to go into an Asian country and
No.
conquer.
No, not when them
Like-
bitches over there.
Those
But they
it's
know-
it's not even that. It's their mentality. Like when it comes to war, those people are ruthless. Like there's something like the kamikaze
Pilots.
pilots. Like That's how they think.
So,
like,
hold on, guys. Hold on.
I will die for this.
I'm happy that you brought up civilization. Now I'm going to break it down for you again.
No, but what something that made me happy. Go on.
Here's the thing. What is the one resource that you need in civilization to do anything?
Well, I guess it's wood. I mean, that's where it started first.
That's what started.
And then you need a military.
Okay, but you also need wealth.
I mean,
you would need an insane amount of money
I know, when you
to
say wealth,
even do something like that.
It's how you acquire the wealth.
Yeah, and at the same time, you could be sitting on, like, let's say you're sitting on like $4.4 billion or something like that, and you're like, you know what? I want to buy, a couple G35 or F35s, some F22s, aircraft carrier stuff like that.
Should be broke by then.
And they're they're looking at you and like they'll just be like, no. Like if they say no, then what do you have? You still have your money.
What is the major crop out of Asia?
It depends on what part that you go to.
The major
usually it's grain.
Well, it's not as grain. The major crop from Asia is agriculture. So food. Basically, majority of the food that you buy is actually, it comes from there. It's cheaper, and that's how the Asians actually dominate the market. Because, for example, you see how we have crops that grows here, which is considered organic, where we're trying to get organic. And for them, we're selling it to them like $4. We're selling it to regular people $4. The Asians are coming in, they're saying that we mass produce it, and we're selling it for $2 a piece. This is how they're dominating Jamaica right now. That's how they're taking over Jamaica's stuff, because
their labor force is treated so poorly that no one else can compete.
No, I mean,
they also have a resource that the world benefits from. If you have your new country, and let's say you have a resource that the world can benefit from, that people want,
like vibranium,
and you also have the force to protect it.
Yes.
Then you can do some trade. Because look at what happened with I'm glad you said vibranium with Wakanda.
Yeah.
With Wakanda, people was like, okay, it's full of goat farmers or whatever. It's in the middle of Africa. It's a poor country.
Yeah.
We have no business messing with them.
Yes.
Now they're considered a super first world country in the MCU. Nobody can mess with them though.
Yes.
Because they have future technology. So even if somebody wanted some vibranium, they would have to pull up and try and get it. But they have the military force and the technology established well enough to protect themselves.
Dennis, you're making my point so much, very much more better right now. Let me ask the question: how many technologies have the black people created for this for a nation other than themselves? Who created the light bulb?
Yo, CN.
Hold on. I understand what you're saying. You're banking on the knowledge, but you still need the resources.
Because let me get the proof. Okay, because the Renaissance in Europe was sparked by Africa.
Yes.
All that art, all that in the inventions.
Yes.
Everything it was basically a copycat of everything else. They came to Africa, saw what was going on, and said, "Whoa, let's try that out in Europe," and that's what happened.
Thank you.
So the inventions, that's not enough. We got it's like it goes back to a mentality where, and I hate to say in the podcast, black people aren't as ruthless as Europeans. We just aren't, and that's why we're in the position we are now.
So basically, you're saying that the reason why this country would not work is the mentality of the people.
Yeah, we're too giving, we're too loving,
and like to add to his point.
That's the point I was looking for.
Add to his point, Spanish Inquisition.
No, but Dennis,
that ruthless mentality got them everything they wanted. If they wanted spices from India, they took it. If they wanted land over here, they took it. If they wanted this over here, they took it. And the same thing that the Brits were doing back then too, or the English, they were doing the same thing.
The Vikings did the same thing.
Here's the thing: they couldn't pull up on the Spaniards because the Spaniards had a bigger force than them. So they're like, since you're stronger than us, we're just gonna pull up over here.
No,
I'm trying to understand what Dan's talking about. When you say Spaniards, you talking about European Spain, or are you talking about South Americans?
I'm talking about Spain. Like
okay,
Spanish Inquisition.
I got you.
No, but
as far as that's concerned, that's where I was talking about, like that military might as well as resources. Because if you saw one of their super ships in the ocean, going against that would be suicide. Because depending on where you came from, even if you won that fight, their entire military force would be coming for you. So back then, during that time period, they ruled over everything by force.
It was ruthless.
In this modern age, where somebody can literally press a button and wipe you off the face of the earth. If you're a new country coming out of nowhere, you have to be able to defend yourself. So you can't start from the ground up.
So let me ask
you have to start from the middle, which is almost impossible in itself, because you would need people that would want to give you resources, which would also put them in a what's the word I'm looking for? An unfavorable position if you decide to go against them.
So let me ask you. But you see, you keep telling me military.
Yes.
And why is it that for a country to be sustainable, it's defined by war?
It's defined by war. Look at the Mongols.
Yeah, no.
Their entire people were defined by war. They could pull up on people, but people couldn't pull up on them.
Yes,
that's the issue. Is people being able to pull up on you.
So basically, you're saying for a nation to survive, you can't. Your main focus has to be war.
No. Here's my opinion.
Go on, Trevor.
Main focus has to be resources.
Trevor, no, and I'm happy. And I'm happy to resources.
The reason why the resources will lead to war is because I need grain from China.
Yeah.
Yep.
China don't want to give. If China doesn't want to give that to me,
yes,
then it's war.
Yes.
Because my people are going to.
It's gonna. So let me ask you a question. I like using the country Singapore so much. You said Singapore is a very sustainable country. How many resources do you think Singapore is getting from outside country?
I don't know.
None. You know this. I danced around this for quite some time now. It's a very sustaining country. It's a very small island too. Mm-hmm. It has no war, right? It does have allies, basically saying that if anybody tries to go to war with me, I have my people that will defend me. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to say this. They might have the more resources. They have one of the best waste management. So they have the best waste management on the planet. They learn how to take their wastes and actually turn it into a reposable landfill where you can grow crops and food from it. Mm-hmm. So when it comes from getting crops or resources from any country, they don't need it. They self-sustain. They have their own grain. They have their own meat, right? So they don't need anything. So the only thing that they don't have is military force. Hold on, Dennis. Hold on. I'll let you talk for quite some time.
Okay.
So I want to know, how did this country went from a third world country to a small first-class country without no military force, without no war, without peace? The only thing...
Allies.
No, Trev, thank you. So they made the right allies. Mm-hmm. Basically, they got to the UN. So we talked about this earlier. Mm-hmm. They got to the UN and they're like, hey, look, we will share our knowledge. That's all. That's their offer.
So what resource is their knowledge? Like what?
Well, they basically are, as of right now. If you know how Singapore came up, Singapore and Jamaica was a leading country in agriculture in the beginning, right? So basically, they show their pattern of how they're able to reproduce food so fast, right, and clean and sustainable. The main country who took advantage of this was China. Mm-hmm. That's why China is the lead in exporting resources. So China is one of the countries that protects them a lot as well. You feel me? So basically, their knowledge of shit, their way of they're consistently growing as a consistently growing nation, right? So they're consistently showing this is new ways for how we can reproduce and make stuff faster, right? So at that point, that grow their nation, which is why Singapore is so successful right now, and their nation was able to sustain. Now, what I'm basically saying.
Hold up.
Go on.
Well, I'm gonna call you out on it.
Go on down.
Yeah,
they sitting on petroleum.
They what?
Yo, Singapore has very few resources, but
yeah, go on.
They have deep water reserves of petroleum that are mined and exported to other countries. Okay. They're sitting on vibranium. Okay. That's what. Okay, so they do have a resource. Yeah,
I do understand, Donville. You know, their resources is very extent into the sense of, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they are to me as a very sustaining nation that continuously grow. Now I know Dennis, now I want you to look at how, to me, that they've grown particularly, and I feel like, they can actually be able to sustain without a war. You feel what I'm saying? They don't, to me personally, they may not be military inclined, but it shows that there's a country that can sustain based on their infrastructure.
But like, let's look at it from like a perspective of a high school student.
Yeah. Like,
just as an example, let's say you have a high school student that's a social butterfly.
Yes.
Right? That means, let's say, like Trevor, you'll be like the jocks or something like that. You'll be like the island kids, and then Donville, you'll be like, like the goth kids or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, let's say out of nowhere, you have like a good old boy pulls up
Yeah.
and tries to mess with, said kid.
Yes.
Because said kid is friends with every single one of you.
Right.
If any one of you are in the vicinity, y'all are not going to let that happen to said kid.
No, that's true.
You feel me? So when it comes to that, like that's what the issue is. Like if you sit there and you're sitting on like 187 friends with different countries and stuff like that, nobody's going to try to attack you because you benefit everybody as a whole. So if you sit there and you try to attack a country that's technically a neutral party, then it becomes an issue, because if you're attacking them, it means that you have something to gain. Yeah. Now, because you have something to gain, you now put every single one of those other countries in a threatening position, which means that they have to pull up on you.
Yeah.
You feel me? So like that's the position that they're in. But also, like Trevor said before, resources. They're providing something to everyone. So now in order for that to work for your country, like they went through a state of system through wars and stuff like that to where they can get themselves established like that. Nobody has like any beef with them. And at the same time, they're benefiting everybody. You would have to have your new country provide a benefit to everyone, which means that you would have to do some mafia dealings to where, okay, I'll give you this, but in return, you protect me if anybody pulls up. And you say the same thing to every single other country, to the point where everybody's in that one circle, to where if anybody acts out of line, the other ones are obligated to help you by contract.
Yes.
That is the only way that would be able to work. No, and you would still need financial backing to get that to work too.
I'm happy you say financial backing, because if I'm saying the word correctly, petroleum, correct, Danville?
Yeah.
Now, they basically started providing extensive amount of petroleum to the world around 1990. I just want to make sure I have that correct. Now, I want to say this. Before they were considered a very contributive factor in petroleum, which made them a very hot commodity, what were they providing before that?
I don't know.
No, I'm happy you do not know, Donville.
Here's my other question though. For that plutonium, did they provide it themselves, or were the countries allowed to come in and mine it? Because that makes a big difference.
Actually, I don't think I can answer that
question.
It
doesn't. I'm trying to think. It doesn't matter. It's still an export.
It's still an export.
Even if another country comes in and still takes it, it's still a resource that Singapore provides. So they still have to pay for it regardless.
No, but that's them being allowed to come onto your land and take it, as opposed to you boxing it up and giving it to them.
Well, I think
that's a whole different standpoint.
Yeah, that will go back into the economy.
But I'm talking about as far as like from a corporation that is based in Singapore, that matters. But as far as the country, that doesn't matter, because the country is not going to make money. Yeah. It's not. It wouldn't handle that product in the way a corporation that does mine that actual petroleum up would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if it's a number one export.
So let's say for Singapore, they have petroleum, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say a company that is based in Singapore mines that petroleum versus a company that's based in the United States. Singapore is a country. Their GDP is still going up. They're still making money off of that. Mm-hmm. And the money's still the same. It's not going to be different. Okay. Their relationship with other countries, if they allow other corporations from other countries to come in, it might benefit their relationship. But as far as what they're getting, it's going to be the same.
Okay. So that gets back to my point, because if they became basically a very strong nation after 1990. Yeah. Now, I know of their trajectory growing from in the 1960s. So I want to say, based on that, what in that 30-year period, what did they basically provide that make them relevant without making them be considered a country that's actually going to sustain any kind of war or being attacked? Now, based on me saying this, if I try to get to the meat of it, Trevor said something important. Dennis said something important. Yeah. I mean, Donville kind of put balance to the situation in the sense that Dennis said that you got to be prepared for war, and Trevor said you have to be very resourceful. Now, the way how I feel, and I'm gonna stress upon the way how I feel, I think this is something to be learned from this part of it. It's like if you can understand what your resource is to the world, you can have something to provide. Because I mean, I know other countries does have the same resources that Singapore does, because it's something that's natural. right? So they're not the only country that's providing one thing. It's just like fishing. It's like, I'm going to say the Chinese are catching fish over there in China, and you're catching fish over here in your country, right? You're kind of basically providing the same crop. All you got to do is just learn how to balance out the market. It's either you sell the fish the same price they do, or you sell it lower so you can get more business. You feel what I'm saying? But you're going to have to find a way. But I do feel like based on that, if I'm going to say black people in a whole, for a country to sustain, I'm going to say this is my opinion, is like if they can maintain or manage some of those areas, yes, there will be war. But if you go in there with a right alliance, you won't feel war. And yes, you're going to need resources. But if you can find a way to gain resources, you can find something to provide. I mean, we can look at countries like I'm gonna use Jamaica, bauxite, but we're gonna use a third world country who provide some form of crop. Crop is grown. So if you're willing to utilize a space on a country or an island to till the soil, you can provide something to grow. Now, then again, it depends on how many allies you're going to get to buy your product from you, or how you're going to be tailored to them. That's going to be something that's going to be marketed by the government.
It also depends on the frame of the world or the view of the world at the time as well. Because if it's during wartime, that type of stuff might not work.
Well, you have to pick
if
a
you're
side.
during a time of peace where everybody's actually kind of cool with each other at the moment, your chances of getting that to fall through is elevated.
And mind you, I'm just like Cian said, I'm just finding out stuff about Singapore off the cuff because I'm not, I haven't really been too in depth with what's going on in Singapore. But according to these articles, they have a very strong military. Like I'm looking at this one article, how a tiny city state became a military powerhouse with the best of Air Force and Navy in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So they do have a defense.
No, I'm not saying they don't have a defense of it because you would think.
And they have a very strong defense.
Yes.
And they have U.S. military bases in Singapore.
Yeah, because they're actually, and that's part of their alliance.
So that goes to what Dance was saying about having that
strong alliance.
Yeah, that strong military presence.
So I'm not saying they as a country, black people wouldn't have any strong military presence because if you look basically what Singapore is providing, America needs. We need oil. We need oil. Any country that we're going to gain a majority of oil from, we don't really protect. It's basically showing. That's like facts.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So America actually has something to gain from taking care of them. I think that ties into both Dennis and Trevor at the same time because Singapore has a resource that America wants. America is going to protect it. So they do have allies.
Yeah.
There is strong military presence. But I'm just saying as a country, if you find the right things to provide and the right things to offer, you can make these alliances. It doesn't. I want you to understand. Separation doesn't have to be radical. Meaning that if you separate from something, it's like getting breaking up in a relationship.
Yeah, but it's gonna be radical.
Not all the time. It's not all breakups
in
are
this
radical.
In this case, it will be radical.
Why you say that?
Because as bad as it sounds, Black Americans have a purpose in the United States of America. In a capitalistic society, you have to have a bottom class. Who's the bottom class in America?
Well, I mean, my opinion at this moment is beg to differ, but I understand where you're going with it. I do.
You think America's gonna be alright with that?
If everybody decided to get up and want to leave at once, it would be an issue. I mean, hey, look, when Trump was ready for president, everybody was talking about going back to Africa. That was a big conversation. That I'm going back. I mean, nobody left, but that was the conversation.
I was waiting to see how many people actually was going to leave too.
Everybody had jobs, yo.
Like Treese, you go to work on Monday, right?
No, but I think the meat to the situation is for individual because we're our own island, we're our own entity at times, right?
Yeah.
It's to find how we can be useful to society in our own individual way. Find out what resources you are. You feel me? Because, I mean, Trevor has many resources to me in different ways. And I'm using Trevor as an example. But Trevor is one of my main source of music.
Yeah.
So if there's one major resource that Trevor got from me, is that I'm going to come check him for his music. You feel what I'm saying? So that I think that's something for us to learn what resources are. Now, I want to jump on a whole another subject. I want to know if any of you guys kind of, we started with Captain Marvel. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did. We touched on it.
We touched on Captain Marvel slightly, but and I want to get back to it because I want to say, I like the movie. And my personal opinion, the movie was good. And and spoiler alert, I'm not gonna try to spoil it too hard. I kind of wish that the same platform that they built Black Panther on, and I do know, yes, Black Panther was promoted in a different way, right? But you look at how Aquaman kind of stole a little bit of Black Panther shine and benefited from it. They did, because I didn't say Aquaman wasn't the greatest movie, but I think it was better because they took formats of what they knew worked. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I feel like the movie was a very good introduction for her, you know, and I felt that's just all the movie was.
It was crazy because I actually forgot it came out. Like, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I was like, oh, snap. Wait, Captain Marvel comes out this week.
Yeah.
And I never really thought about it. I was like, I'll watch it whenever.
Well, and I see why, because if they normally how they promote these movies, they show all the cool scenes.
Yeah.
I see why they didn't show all the cool scenes, because if they just show the cool scenes,
That'd been the whole movie?
that'd have been the whole movie.
Dang. Yeah, because that's the thing. I normally see a lot of advertisements, like even, like I have pop-up blockers on my computer, but even past the pop-up blockers, I always see some type of ads or some type of YouTube videos promoting stuff, you know, and it's like nothing came out.
They didn't really promote it as hard.
Dang.
You know, but I mean, I guess you guys was asking me earlier about if they show certain superpowers.
Yeah.
Yes, they do show her superpower basically vaguely when it came close to the end. In the sense that they kind of
What?
Yes.
No, it's not to the end.
Well,
Her, if you know her from the comics, her supernova powers
Yes.
near the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've been seeing her
Is it
power
her binary power?
Yes.
Yeah.
You saw the binary part of it where she can do some stuff.
Okay.
at like her Super Saiyan thing. Like that's near the end. But yeah, you see examples of it throughout the whole movie.
It's just that she did it on a very small. She did it on a very minute scale. Which
Here's the main question. Is there anything prepping us for Infinity Wars?
yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
So I'm gonna tell you this. If you're prepping for Infinity Wars, the ending credits,
Yep.
we'll prep you for that. So if anybody go watch the movie, I'm suggesting that you sit down and watch the ending
There's
credits.
two after.
2 credits.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. But here's one thing I would say about Captain Marvel what's the point? Oh yeah, one thing I would say, I'm more excited to see her with the Russo brothers did with her, because this one was good, but it was independent directors did this movie.
Okay.
So this is their first time having
Yeah.
$150 million deal, right?
Yep.
And they were like, okay, what to do? Here we go, right? Now Russo brothers, that's made.
They know what they're doing.
Winter Soldier. What else they made? They made Infinity War.
They pretty much worked
Iron
on
Man.
all of the bigger Iron Man, somebody else.
Yeah.
They worked on all of the pretty much all of Captain America stuff, isn't it?
No, I think just 2 of them. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
but they did what if you've seen Winter Soldier, that's them.
That's you can tell
Right.
their style.
And now they're directing Endgame. I
Yes.
want to see how they direct Captain Marvel, because that's going to be a different take. The same way they did Civil War.
Yeah.
And you saw Black Panther, he was a king. He was more trying to find himself.
Yes.
Yeah, he was definitely more calculated out.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
calculated because I mean I guess that's when you're trying to find yourself, you have to take your time.
Yeah.
You can't just jump ahead, and I can't say that I find myself doing that in my life nowadays, trying to base on that calculation. But yeah, Trevor, I completely agree. I want to see how the Russo brothers really want to deal with her, because not saying anything, we all know about her going supernova. That's what it's considered. Her going to do.
I forgot the exact name, but I just call it that.
Yeah,
It's her binary power.
her binary power when she goes all out, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, seeing her going all out, and as I want to say, I think she's the closest person I've seen so far in the Marvel universe that's close to Superman. But that's just my opinion. And the reason I'm saying that, because I mean,
Is her durability that high?
yeah, she's high, because Dennis, she breathes in space, bro.
I mean, she breathes in space, but I'm talking about durability. Can she take a hit?
Yes.
Okay.
She can take that. She can take a hit and laugh it off at the same
Okay.
time.
So do you think she's the strongest Avenger right now?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's between her and Thor
Yes.
and Hulk.
Yeah, because
Hulk
Dennis, I mean, at one point, if she can take down a whole spaceship by herself in space, dog, just by flying straight through it.
Which you've seen in the trailers.
Yes.
So don't worry, we're gonna spoil it.
So those are our little things, you know. But I want to say, I'm based on, if you're a Marvel fan, guys, go see the movie. You know, support the Marvel. I'm a big fan of the Marvel franchise.
I wonder if
especially.
I'll watch it
She
next
could
week.
actually put hands on Thor. I gotta do something.
If she want to put hands on Dennis, that would be a good fight.
Could, 'cause I don't know. Thor. I don't think Thor was a part of Civil War 2 because he was going on through his own stuff.
Yeah, the
through
Ragnarok
comic books.
stuff.
That would have been nice to see that part. But actually, I want to see how her interaction is going to be with a couple of, especially Captain America, because I want to see her and be like, yo, 'cause she's a very pretty girl. But I think him still having mixed Captain to focus on.
I think he's more like everyone's dead. Like,
Yeah, but they want to come back.
See,
I don't
but
know.
her
You don't
and
know
Cap
that.
are both government. So
They're both. That's one someone was saying about it. These are two military trained people, and you could see it when you watch the movie. You could see it in her. She's military trained.
Yes.
She's not like strict like a World War II kind of person like how Cap is.
Yeah.
But she's more like yo. And remember, this is around the time where ladies are not allowed to fly fighter jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no woman empowerment at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, and I wanted to say this. It shows. I know we're in National Woman Month.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to make sure, shout out to all the ladies out there. That's one of the reasons why I want to say it like this. It shows the journey woman has come from, and the journey that they're still on. I mean, and what they're aiming for. Especially, I realize that there's other countries out there that's actually empowering more women to be in leadership roles.
And
I just read this. It said her durability and her attack potency is nowhere near his. Like she could probably casually destroy a moon while he could take out a star. So
with Thor.
yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, with Thor new power, basically at the end of.
but he's talking about comic.
Mm.
So
yeah, I mean, MC. I haven't seen what she's done yet, so.
you'll see that.
But
back
the
to-
fact that he pulled up on Thanos the way that he did, unless she's pulling up on him the same way, I don't think so, champ.
Yes, so when you watch the movie, I think
Yeah.
you have a more identified opinion about where you think her power is or where her power could go. Because when they show the movie, she didn't learn her full potential. It kind of shows that she knew where some of her strengths are. But I want to say this, based on the time frame that she would have left in this movie, and for when she shows up now, she hopefully she should have
went
learned
through some stuff.
Yeah, she should be way
her
past.
biggest thing is that she can absorb energy. So depending on what it is that goes in her direction is what she's gonna send back. Because like, let's say Thor takes Stormbreaker and shoots that energy at her, and she can absorb it. I'm not saying that she can, but let's say it's a possibility. She can, and if she absorbs it, she can push it back twice as much.
Well, I'm happy to say
So-
that they kind of change her feet based on her observation of energy. She's basically a sustainable energy. That's how they have her. They didn't show her as
Giving too much.
Yeah, that's
No, I mean that's how she is though. She can provide her. She's a walking battery.
yes.
But she's a battery that can convert other forms of energy into power as well. Like she's really, really strong.
Well, they didn't get too deep into that. Probably that's something that we will see from the next Avengers movie to see how. That's why when Trevor said he really wants to see how they utilize her, because they gave you a taste of her. Basically, to me, when she figured out how strong she was, the movie ended.
I want to see how she's gonna interact with Tony.
Well, that would be actually that.
She's
that would be a nice
honestly,
conversation.
just based off of the fact that she says she flies in space, I'm pretty sure she's probably gonna be the one to find him.
That's what I said too.
So you got that, and then at the same time, I saw a little thing that said Tony's new suit for Endgame is gonna be made out of vibranium. Wow! So if that's the case, it's over,
So
dog.
so he's,
It's-
I want to
I'm
see.
hyped.
Well, actually, I want to see the combination of the nano and the vibranium together.
It's the same type of stuff, but like the thing is, his durability is gonna be like God level now. Like
Yeah,
Well,
it's
you can
gonna
take
be
a
pretty
hit.
insane.
he can
Take
if he
it, convert it, push it
incorporates if he incorporates the same technology that Shuri used
yeah.
for T'Challa's suit,
Yes,
it's over, dog. Like there's
Tony.
And if Tony's getting a new suit, please give Rhodey a new suit. Rhodey's been rocking the
don't need a
same
new
suit.
suit, dog.
He's been
Oh,
rocking the
rocking
same
a new
suit since Iron Man 3.
That's fine.
No, he needs a new suit,
He
dog.
don't need no new suit, dog. Because if he need a new suit, that means the government got a new suit. You got to think about the way Tony thinking.
But that's the treaty that he has with them. He's allowed to do whatever it is that he wants as long as they get technology too.
That's fine.
That's their treaty.
That's fine. He gave them their technology. Their war machine is walking around right there.
Yeah, and you saw
In the
what
same suit.
happened. You saw what happened because he didn't get that upgrade. His legs legs broke.
Well,
That's what happens when you.
no, that's not. That's their fault. Dog. That's poor decision making. That's why he said it in the last
like
one.
a can, yo.
He was like, "Look what it got me when you guys made me because I lost my leg because of y'all people." You feel me? All right, so guys, we'll chop up National Woman Month.
Yeah, shout out to women.
Shout out to all the women out there.
Yeah, shout out to our mothers. Shout out to our sisters.
Yes.
Shout out to the ones that are lawyers, the ones that are in the marketing.
Yes.
Shout out to my homegirl Nerd. I just found out she's in episode 5 of season 10 of Curve Your Enthusiasm.
What?
Yes.
That's big. I gotta check it out.
Me, I was like, what? Yeah, I know that show.
that?
Curve Your Enthusiasm. It's a show from, is it HBO?
CBS? Oh, that was on.
Oh, I can't remember. But it's one of those shows that's been.
It's a big show.
Yeah, and she actually has a speaking role in it.
What?
So big her up.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Wait, what was that again, Trev?
Yeah, doing her
Episode what? Season what?
Season 10, episode 5. I don't know if it's out yet, but I know she was saying that she did that earlier this year.
All right, guys.
Y'all
So
should start doing skits, yeah.
for real. Yeah, well, guys, I'm gonna take it to a darker turn now.
Okay.
So did anybody get to watch the new R. Kelly documentary? And
The interview.
the interviews.
Oh, I saw the clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
So our question: do you see the clips of when he was talking, or the one where the girls were talking?
When he was talking, having a mental breakdown.
Yeah, the mental breakdown was heavy. I feel like
I gave y'all 30 years of my life. And y'all try to kill me.
They try to kill me. Oh yeah.
Wait, here's one thing.
Like,
though.
like when he said that line right there, I was like, hold on, why does this sound familiar?
What'd you think about
Training Day.
Oh, damn.
I mean, there's that, but also he said the same thing, but with a different kind of attitude.
Yes.
Like a little bit half a year ago, or a little bit after
When he said he was untouchable?
yeah, he's saying, "Oh, y'all should have got me 30 years ago." Wait, so you kind of admitting that you
Yeah,
did
he did.
something,
No, he did.
but now you're wearing saying, "Oh, I gave y'all 30 years of my life." Like, okay,
It's just sad, man. It's sad.
No, I'm gonna say this.
Like the thing that got me was when they was like, "Oh, he's saying that he's trying to, establish a life with him and his kids, and he can't do that because they're trying to go after him." I was like, that's heartfelt. And then the next day I wake up, yawn. R. Kelly arrested again, $161,000 in child support.
You ain't taking care of your kids.
I was like, that don't help your case, dog.
Can't argue there.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this. Listen to the R. Kelly thing and summing it up. It shows you that I know people are searching for fame, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna jump ahead in different part of the stories. There's different part I like about the interview. I think my favorite part is when R. Kelly said, "This is not me. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life." If you know what I'm saying, I didn't do this stuff. The reason why that was so funny to me because there was like when you go to the bank teller and you see fraudulent charges in your account. That's how you felt.
There was a meme
I thought you was about to say something so deep.
There was a meme that was on the internet. And I started dying laughing, and they basically had a snapshot of him flipping out, and they're like, "This is the exact way a dude acts when he gets caught cheating."
Let me get back to the good part. My bad. But I said that was my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
They said that when the two young ladies was getting ready to get interviewed, they basically not saying they didn't want R. Kelly around. They kind of was asking him just to chill back. Let me do it. Now, I'm very big on, and I've seen people who's been mentally abused in different ways in different relationship, and you can see the mental abuse on certain things where the way they're talking because. There is reports that homegirl made a comment when she was like, "Oh, they're talking about like, oh, I love music. I hated music. My parents just forcing me to do music." Now, if you hated music, and your family is forcing you to do music, what purpose did you have around R. Kelly if you hated music? The whole reason why they basically said their daughter got intertwined with him is because she loved music, and she wanted to be a part of music, and she was like, well, she went to the hospital because she had a mental breakdown and because she was doing so much music. Then the hospital basically kind of released the report that saying she basically was saying that she was so stressful that the only thing that could make her feel sane again was music.
Oh yeah, there was another thing too. There was a lot of people getting fired. This is completely separate. Fired from hospitals
Yeah.
because they were accessing Jesse Smollett's medical records.
Yo,
So every single person that accessed his medical records
What?
that wasn't his direct physician was immediately terminated.
yeah, we're gonna grab.
Why
this.
they access his medical records? Look at
They want to see if
the
he
fake
really
scars he
beat
got.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Well, I mean, we saw, we see what's going on with him.
Yeah. But yes, we're gonna get to Jessica. Jesse's a whole
Jesse's
other
a trip.
Yeah, Jesse's a trip. Shout out to Jesse.
But I mean, the whole R. Kelly thing, it's like this is it, man. This is the end. This is the big. Well, not even the beginning. This
This is the end of it.
has been happening for so long. It's just like
Yeah, but why?
I'm over it.
And David, I am over.
Like,
but
let it be.
But they've known R. Kelly been doing this for 20-something years. 30-something years?
Yeah.
About 25, 30 years,
You
right?
got parents bringing their kids to him. Like, you crazy?
Yeah, but during that
Come on,
period,
man.
he was a cash cow enough. Now his ability to provide is slowly deteriorating. So he really ain't got the finance to really do anything. And now you want to take him out. You're like, oh, well, we gained everything we got from you
Yep,
guys.
pretty much.
It's time to let you go. But I'm going to say this. Go on, Trevor.
But let's say those two girls that's doing an interview right now, they were like, what, 17, 18 when they got brought to him?
No, less than 18, Trevor, both of them.
So, but that's in recent years.
Yes.
That's like,
That's still statutory rape.
I'm not saying, I'm not even jumping to that
he
part
didn't
yet.
necessarily. We don't know what.
Yeah, we don't
he
know
did
what
with him.
happened. But also, you're trying to get success with these girls. But the history, you sent them around recent times where you already know the history of R. Kelly.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's not music. It's something else. There's some type of trafficking going on here that we're
believe that.
just seeing the
money.
doorways to it.
It's money.
It's money,
is
but
money.
you're selling
'Cause
your
if
kids.
there's one thing that he did say that I do believe is that the parents pushed those kids on,
No, they
on
did.
him.
Oh, yeah.
I
They did.
completely believe
No,
that.
they did.
They knew that's his weakness, and
Yeah.
they knew he had pocket.
They knew it
Because
was gonna happen.
Homegirl was like, oh, they said they were going to have documents, on him now, and they're going to release it. And then when she first get introduced to R. Kelly, they made him lied about their age. You feel what I'm saying? And I see this is a trend. Michael Jackson is going through the same foolishness right now.
The man's dead.
Thank you, Donville.
That's the thing.
I like how you said that. 'cause
No,
Michael
rest in
Jackson
peace,
dead.
man. Michael Jackson, like,
Yo, I try to tarnish the man legacy. Look,
Come on, man.
when I quit the man from rape or from child molestation, you couldn't catch him in a life. You trying to take it away from him in death. He's not here to defend himself. It's like his family surviving on what he made successful, regardless of whatever foolishness him do. If
and mind you, the person that's accusing the Wade Robinson guy,
both of them.
this guy already denied
Yes.
anything happened.
Yes.
The only reason, according to the family, the only reason he's coming out is that they have some kind of concert or tour or whatever where he was supposed to be like the main choreographer
Yeah.
in the concert and tour, and they said no. And then all this stuff came out.
Yo, and I hear that he might even
So
dating one of them cousins.
his money got cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's coming out saying all this stuff.
Yeah.
Makes
And
sense.
he dated Michael Jackson's niece.
Yes. Things of that nature.
Yeah.
And he was a dancer, so it
Why don't they pull her?
Oh, she spoke. She spoke not on the documentary, but she spoke on like YouTube and stuff. She
did she
was
say?
like denouncing the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean that's what one of his cousins even came out and said that, yo, you know what? If you even Google Michael Jackson for 10 minutes and Google the people who's talking about Michael Jackson, 10 minutes. The documentary is like 3 to 4 hours long. It's like it will clear all it up. They're basically doing it because I want you to understand. When they first met Michael Jackson, and I'm gonna tell you guys, I watch a documentary, so anybody understand that, know where I'm coming from. They sought out Michael Jackson. Basically, they were interested. Either if Michael Jackson was interested in them in their dancing ability, they kept on pushing.
Trafficking.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At one point, one of the parents was like, "Oh, because of Michael Jackson, she was meeting George Clooney, and they were on the set of this, and she was like, so." You feel me?
They used him as a means of elevating their status.
That's what they did, and I feel like that's where the
Same thing with R. Kelly. They're trying to do.
tell you boy.
Yeah. So it's like we can't just only blame R. Kelly. We can't just blame Michael Jackson.
You blame the system.
There's a system out there that's going on that we as consumers has not seen, but now because of social media, we're seeing it now.
Yeah.
That's that. I guess it's a Danville. It's the mind.
Yeah.
It's my mentality.
It's my mentality. No, Dennis, I know you want to chop up the Jesse situation.
Jesse.
And that's
Smollett.
another one. there's something up about why, and society's making us black people use memes, use Instagram, use social media to put down another black person.
Basically, murder these people online.
Yeah. On real, we should let them hang themselves. They're doing well enough alone.
Yeah.
Let them talk on the news, but we shouldn't help hang them.
I think that's what Tisha Arnold came out and said. Basically, like you guys are literally destroying your own people.
Yes.
And people started going at her, and after she had said to her piece, I was like, "Yo, she got a point, dog." Because you look at it, like, let's say if we would have took, let's say we took Jesse and we threw him, or they threw him up there, and the white people started tearing him apart, we would have defended him regardless of what he did because they're tearing him apart.
Yeah.
We started tearing him apart first.
Yeah.
R. Kelly, they threw R. Kelly up there, and they ain't even touch him. They ain't even touch him. We destroyed R. Kelly.
Yeah, by ourselves.
You feel me? By ourselves.
Yeah.
The Michael Jackson thing that's going on right now, they threw it up there. Oprah's attached to it.
Yeah.
We're destroying him. Like
do you
Bill
believe-
Cosby, when they were running at Cosby the first time,
Yeah.
the white people were running on Cosby. And they were like, nah, leave him alone, leave him alone, leave him alone. And then the black people started destroying him.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was cool.
Embarrassed. And then
Exactly.
it grew from there. But okay, a question to you is, you know how it's council culture out there right now. Should we redefine that council culture is? And if we see our people doing something stupid, should we just say, ain't no way with them? Like, we just ignore that, even though they're going to get the full length of white society on them.
Oh, yeah.
Us jumping on and helping white society bash them at is not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to help, like, convict them or stuff like that. It's another thing entirely to completely drag the man through.
I mean, Jussie Smollett, you're an idiot. R. Kelly, you're
what
a
he
pedophile.
did, he kind of deserves the public outlash because he took advantage of people's sympathy. So, like, as far as him being destroyed like that, I understand. But he got his punishment.
Yeah, but I think what Trevor's getting to is that there's other people that have done similar or worse.
Yeah.
And we're not making memes. We're not even mentioning them.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, please remember Woody Allen, what he did.
Yeah. Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. How come all
Like, there's no, I'm seeing no memes about him.
Elvis Presley.
I
There's
mean,
a-
yeah, he looked weird in
creep.
pictures, but it's
It was
still
like, Kevin
meme him.
Spacey.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, meme him up too.
Yeah.
I mean,
The dude that grabbed Terry Crews, meme him up.
him.
They all can get it. Every one of them. And that is just a fact in the sense it shows you how sick the society is and how people keep turning a blind eye, because no matter what documentary you watched of who they wanna rip apart, you realize that behind that one person that they're trying to demising, there was a whole system that kept it up and running.
Because look at 6ix9ine. Ain't nobody talking about 6ix9ine no more. They got a new target.
Yeah.
Well, since not about to be out of jail, so
Like his whole thing is pushed to the side because they're like, all right, we know that you're snitching. You about to be straight. Oh, this dude over here is messing up. We're gonna go mess with him now. Like that.
And
that
please
whole,
remember that. Sorry to cut you. Please remember. Okay, yeah, he's been snitching. He's doing this and third. When he come out, I bet you if you make a fire record, all y'all gonna still be playing him. So
I didn't
top
play his
10
stuff.
I'm not saying
Billboard.
just you, but I'm saying the black society that saying, "Oh, you're here, snitch."
I think
gonna
they're
be
gonna.
hot
I
97,
think
Breakfast
they're gonna be
Club.
like,
Yo.
yeah, I think you should stop making music.
No,
That would be the smart thing to do.
Actually, making music is a good thing for him because it would keep.
That's it. Unreal. He's an artist. He ain't no gang member.
No, that's what he's
But
gonna
he
play
sent a
on.
lot of people to jail.
He ain't a gang member though.
So like that
And
is
his witness protection program,
Good
his
luck.
witness game is pretty good. I mean, not saying anything. People would have to snipe him if anything. That's what I'm telling
Guys,
you. You know?
And
we talked about this before on the podcast.
Yeah.
He has federal agents guarding him.
yeah,
yeah, he's good.
he's good.
He's good.
Yeah, he's
He's
good.
good. But
I
you know,
bet you.
federal agents still gotta get paid.
oh, they're gonna get.
They're going to get paid.
Then it's
We've been
the
paying
keyword.
them.
The keyword right is federal
We've been paying them.
agent.
Oh yeah, that's
They get
probably
paid
the case because
regardless.
Trump ain't been paying them. So
Alright.
it's like, yo, 6ix9ine, you paid? I post up.
I'm gonna tell you, based on his deal that he made with the DA, it's something that the government will provide. He's not gonna pay for those. He's not gonna pay for those protections.
Yeah.
The government is giving that to him because he snitched. Now, I'm going to say something to you. You're going to think about how many people got arrested, right? I want you to understand the criminal system just rose up because they just came up with like 5 or 6 people who got indicted into the criminal system. So the money that they're making from having a prisoner in jail because we the people pay for prisoners.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Who was the dude that they were saying was selling black teens to prisons?
It was a judge, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they gave him like 28 years in prison or something like that?
28, yeah.
He was literally profiting off of every black kid that he sent
To jail.
He should get memed. He should get destroyed out there.
Yo, some of them people didn't forget murder, dog. Let me tell you something. See, when you're taking people's, all right, you see people like that, I look at the same way I look at pedophiles. If you're taking
advantage,
you're taking advantage of people and taking people's sanity, right? Which is, I want you to understand, prison is a very mental thing. You feel me? It destroys you mentally. So you see, when you're taking young people and you're destroying them, you should die. I mean, I guess that's a little bit graphic, but that's just how I feel. You feel me? You can't take people's innocent and want someone to forgive you. So you've been doing this for years. How many lives that you destroyed, and now when your life is being destroyed, like, okay, guys, can you just forgive me? I know I destroyed a lot of people's lives. Like, no, let's take account of how many lives you destroyed.
I just forgot another one. The guy from Seventh Heaven.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's another one.
Dang.
That did messed up with some kids.
Crazy.
Huh.
I mean, I feel bad for everyone else around that, and same as Cosby. Everyone else that was a cast member on those shows, now their money is gone.
Yeah.
Or not gone.
Because they pulled the Seventh Heaven.
They pulled Cosby.
Pulled Cosby.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
I mean, you know what? The money that they made up into that period of time, Trev, I hope they make good investments with it.
Of course they didn't. Like, you would know when some more money's coming in. I said, like a Cosby kid. If you're a Cosby kid, like you was Theo. You think Theo was really thinking that this money is going to stop?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's a good check.
Yeah.
No, because Theodore hasn't really done any acting in a long time.
Nah, he has.
Oh, yeah, he has. It's
Remember,
not been
I think he
big things,
I think he either co-produced or co-created Magic School Bus.
Oh, for
that's
real?
him. Yeah.
Malcolm, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes. Malcolm Jamal
From a different world?
No, Theo from Cosby.
Oh, gotcha.
He's part of Magic School Bus.
If you didn't
I think he's a producer, like co-creator, something like that.
Yo, that was my show though.
Yeah.
Like Miss Frizzle, dog. I don't know what type of bank she got. She had bank, bro.
For real.
Like, dang, like you have you walking in the class like, yo, why can't you do that stuff? It's like you sitting here, you want to teach math. Like we trying to dive into the center of a cell and see what that looks
I know
like,
what the smart attendants do now. Not by you, teacher.
for real. It's like I bet I know what a mitochondria is and you don't. But like there was a running joke behind that too that said the kids from the Magic School Bus turned into the Planeteers.
Because
yeah.
I mean, and there's a lot of proof of it too.
That was the crazy thing. But I was sitting there, I was like, yeah. The only thing is they don't have a Native American kid. Well, technically he wasn't Native American; he was Brazilian.
He is Brazilian.
So, my T. Is it my T? Yeah, it's my T. He was Brazilian.
I mean, close enough. That's basically how they kind of sum it up. You know, tomato. You know, so they get some origins behind them tactical beasts.
Yo, on the real, Captain Planet was strong, dog.
Well, yeah.
That's
but
good.
But I'm gonna show you something. You know, then just like Captain Planet is strong, Captain Planet is as strong as the people who supports him. Because remember, his powers came from a combination of everything. You feel me? But
just like R. Kelly, just like Weinstein.
I'm in jail again. I need my Planeteers.
I need my people.
Swipe card. Go fund me.
Everything. Come on, guys.
They're trying to kill me.
I didn't do this.
Nah, but like that. What was it? There was an episode of Captain Planet where they were sitting there and they had like some type of radioactive it was a silo. It was a nuclear silo. If a nuclear silo is like miles across.
Yeah.
My dude was like, no, we can't have this here. It's hurting the environment. Dove under the ground, picked it up, and threw it into the sun. Like, so like, it would take a space shuttle probably like 3 to 4 years to hopefully get close.
Threw it to the sun.
That thing hit the sun in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
With the power of TV.
I'm just saying, I don't think Superman could do that. Like, that's all it is.
I don't think that even makes sense. The animators are probably like, hey,
No, for real.
we're like 20 minutes. We gotta make this work, guys.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't make sense, but just
like
do
there was
it.
a whole nother
Don't think,
episode
don't
where the
think.
dude was running around with a radioactive truck, and he was like, nah, I don't want this here, son. He just threw it to the sun.
Throw it in the sun.
Yeah, and then what was it?
Trash into the sun.
Dude had this tree wood chipper, like this massive like fur and gully force killing like wood chipper.
Killing trees.
He punched it one time and it turned into a recycling bin for every house for 6 miles.
I think I remember that one. I remember that episode.
Yo, for real, the show was cheesy. I'm not gonna lie, it was cheesy,
it was
but his
great,
powers were insane, dog.
It was insane.
Like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
like
man.
Heart.
Captain Planet.
that was the heart power was the one that everybody made fun of, but that's the thing that was like his strongest power.
That was the strongest part because a lot of times he's about to go down and Monty would show up and hit him with that heart dog.
It's
and
like,
you'd
you
be like,
can't give up, Captain Planet. It's like,
Let me push you off in this water so he can rinse you off.
yo,
the
for
sludge.
real, like they throw that motor oil at him. That boy's going
man,
down,
it's a
dog.
wrap.
Yeah,
That
but
boy's going
you
down.
Know, it's funny.
Maybe
'cause-
not smoke.
No. Yeah. But it's just to show you that they were using something like a motor oil that we're putting inside our cars,
Yeah.
and that we're consistently polluting the planet with. And we've been being taught from Captain Planet for a good generation now, and nobody's figured it out. That's just it's depressing. It's depressing because I feel like if they would have been nurturing, using this information that we're gathered at a very young age and put some nurturing thought into it, then we would have had something to move on. It's like right now we're hearing that I guess in the government they don't believe in climate change, right? And I'm like, it's right in front of your face.
Look what happened to Florida. Florida was just freezing 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yo, you gotta. It's at this point where you gotta keep 2 different backpacks in your car: your cold winter clothes and your basketball shorts, dog.
Well, make sure you got your raincoat because you may
Yo, for real.
You may be wet
You
out
never
there,
know.
bro.
Umbrella, basketball shorts, and Timbs. That's like all
Make sure you're
together.
ready. Call it the preparational pack.
Oh man,
Florida's natural kit. I mean, it's the thought has been crazy,
Right.
and I want to make sure that I'm happy that we've learned, and it shows that we can sustain different ideas and different things from the knowledge we've gained. And I'm not sure if everybody ever seen the movie. Man, I just had the movie in the tip of my tongue. Oh my gosh, it's not Inception. It's a movie where the guy take the pill and becomes smart. Let me see if I try to remember.
Oh,
Limitless.
Limitless.
Yeah, Limitless.
Do you guys ever understand the concept of Limitless?
Yeah.
No, just
One of my favorite movies.
One of my favorite, or down for one of your favorite movies.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I gained from Limitless, Trev, is that it's how to utilize the information that you have attained, because that's basically what the drug that he took heightened your senses, right?
Yeah.
His
But
power.
I heightened it.
Yeah.
Well, no, heightened his senses because
Yeah.
all it did was make sure everything that he's ever touched or learned, he being able to use it in the right way.
God, I wish
Well,
I had that pill.
it heightens your recall ability.
Yes,
There's a part of your brain that allows you to access those memories.
those memories.
So being able to recall those memories and recall numbers, words, all that stuff, it heightens that.
So let me ask the question, Dante. Do you feel like if these things would have been nurtured in individuals, you know what I mean, that it would have been a whole other concept? Say, for example, we see how I'm gonna say this. We talked about this earlier. How the Asian community, when they bring their family over here,
Yeah.
those are the people who come in here and they've nurtured their mind to the sense that they've acquired some of these things. Not all of it, because it's never 100%, but they're acquiring some of the logistics that's going to make them very successful based on how they're being uprooted or being built.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, based on that, if we can take some of these little things, we can make our society a little bit better. You feel what I'm saying? And I want to say this based on me coming to the positive thought of the week.
I kind of want to give one too. But yeah, you go first.
You want to go first, Trev?
No, because mine might be deeper.
Yours might be deep. That's right, Trev. That's my boy. So I mean, running up to my positive thought. We've talked about a couple different things today. And one of the things is that we've realized is that there's more ways to deteriorate things than how to upbuild it. We talked about how if a country would have been grown, what it would have taken to sustain it and what it takes to get it done. You feel me? Dennis talked about the war. Trevor talks about the economy, right? and things to get it done. Now, and we've also talked about the R. Kellys and different things and how people is taking advantage of situation. I want you to understand what I've learned is that instead of focusing on the negative, if we can take the positive and nurture the things that we need to nurture to make our society grow, we can be a better people and we can be a better nation. You feel what I'm saying? And if there's one thing I learned from Michael Jackson, even from watching his ups and downs or his mistakes, he taught me that before you can do anything in this world, you got to start with a man in the mirror. You got to start with yourself. So I think from my positive thought of the week is for us to all to have some self-reliance. Look into yourself. See what resources that you have as a person and how you can contribute not just to the world. Let's start small. Let's start with yourself. How do you really contribute to yourself? And if you figure that out, learn how you contribute to your family and see if we can build on some of these things to make so we can be able to make sure we can be able to move forward and be a more positive or more civilized person. Go on, Trev.
All right. Kind of piggyback a little bit off what you just said. What we've seen in today's society and on TV, on the people you think you're the greatest and the pop stars and whatever, be careful who you champion and also be careful who you stone. Jesus said it best, he without sin cast the first stone.
Yes.
And be careful how you treat the people that are making the idiot moves, because that might reflect on your actual person.
Well said.
If anybody have anything ratchet and watch up here waiting for me to let it off.
I'm gonna pass that baton to you, Dennis.
All right. Well, since we were talking about Captain Planet, remember to recycle, because he'll throw you into the sun.
In 4 seconds.
What was it? What did the Captain Planet that Don Cheadle played?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yo.
Oh my god. Y'all ever seen that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Don't get turned into a tree.
All right, guys, One Pot Podcast, episode 40. We out.
Peace.